Hello, everybody, and welcome into the First and Football Podcast. I am your host, Justin Sutton, here in Green Bay, here with my co-host, Mike Rosenthal, down in Milwaukee. And we got a jam-packed show for you today on Saturday, November 11th, 2023. Sorry we're a day late, everybody.
Yep.
Had some life stuff happening, so
I was on a roof all day.
I ended up
two
having
different sheds.
I ended up having to work an extra day as well myself.
Yeah.
Pretty busy at work, so
Shout out to all the veterans. Happy Veterans Day.
yes, happy Veterans Day
got
indeed.
Got the camo. NFL. I don't know. This is from a few years ago. Pittsburgh hoodie. Amped this week. Very amped this week. Being Wisconsin people. Pittsburgh Steelers, Packers, in a game that matters.
Huge
Doesn't happen
game.
very often.
Huge game.
Yeah, this week's gonna be awesome. It's been an awesome week. It's great to catch up on a Saturday night. It sucks that we did it a day late, but hey, we're here.
Better late than never.
Yeah. Let's talk Thursday night football. We both picked Chicago -4.
Yes.
We didn't win that, but the Bears did win. And I did call that game out to a slight degree. Special teams won that game. There was that touchdown return on special teams for the Panthers, which gave them their only touchdown, I believe. And then the Bears got great field position from the Panthers' bad punts, leading the Bears to get a touchdown that they probably didn't deserve. Both of those offenses are awful.
Yeah, it was pretty
It was a boring game.
Pretty
boring
dreadful. Game. Yeah. I mean, the only thing I really took out of that is I think no matter what happens this year, two things. Justin Fields is not going to be the quarterback next year. And number two, is Matt Eberflus going to be fired no matter what? Like, does he get another shot? Yeah, I don't think he does. I don't think he should.
Don't waste him on another quarterback.
Exactly, especially considering that Carolina now holds the first pick in the draft. Like, that's huge.
The Bears hold that pick.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the Bears hold that pick.
The Bears benefited themselves this game beating the Panthers.
Yes.
Gave the Bears a better pick, which is so convoluted and hilarious. But after this season, they're going to ride out Fields for this year probably. If Fields is healthy, I think Fields is going to play, which I don't know how much that's even going to help them.
Yeah. I mean, Tyson Bagent has that offense looking at least somewhat adequate to the degree that Justin Fields can. So it's like, what good is he? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, Fields is definitely better than him. Fields is going to put up more points. Fields has a much higher ceiling than him.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've seen Fields' ceiling. But yeah, the Bears stink, and who knows what's going to happen with Justin Fields. Somebody's going to pick him up and think that they could do something with him. That's for sure. I could easily see that. Somebody's going to trade for him and think that, oh, he can do it with our offense.
Atlanta Falcons. I could see that happening. They miss Mike Vick down there, and they haven't had Mike Vick since, Mike Vick went to the Eagles.
Yeah, that game was boring. So I don't think there's much more to say. This week we have the Chiefs, Rams, Dolphins, and Eagles all on a bye, which is painful for fantasy owners.
Very, very painful.
That's a lot of studs. I mean, what is that?
Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown,
those are
Cooper
three
Kupp.
Those are three top quarterbacks.
Yeah,
on those teams that you want.
Hell yeah, Jalen
Hurts
was
questionable, but as top. But do you have any notable news that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do actually. First and foremost, Justin Jefferson will not be playing this week, unfortunately. I know there was a lot of speculation that he would, but it'd basically be kind of rushing him back at this point. Everything that I read says that he'll probably be back next week. So that's good news. I don't know to what extent Justin Jefferson will be back, like his first week back. I would kind of assume week 2 would be a little more vintage Justin Jefferson. But nonetheless, he's coming back. So that's good.
Jefferson's MO, like he's been saying all over social media and everything, is he's not coming back unless he's 100.
Exactly. So if he didn't come back next week, I wouldn't be surprised if he waited another week yet.
It's going to be cool to see that what Dobbs does with that offense.
Yeah, dude. Like, I mean, talk about having a shamrock up your ass. Like, dude, he is someone that just is like, is he Irish or what? Like, that's crazy. He's
I love. Did you see those videos out of people shaving their eyebrows
Yeah, I have
in
actually.
Dom
That's pretty
season?
wild. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Another piece of notable news: Michael Thomas was actually arrested on Friday for
saw that.
battery. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. He is expected to still play this weekend. So,
If you got enough money, you can do whatever you want.
I mean, from what I read, I don't want to speculate and everything like that, but like from what I read on
Yeah,
the reports, they indicated that basically there was some construction being done in his neighborhood near his residence, and supposedly there was some equipment or like a vehicle of or so something or another, basically blocking access to his property, which he was trying to enter his own domain. And
yeah.
then there was an altercation. He threw a brick at the windshield, reportedly. I mean, he was arrested and then he was out by like 10 p.m. And I think he was being charged with like misdemeanor assault and criminal, like
It's it's
something
so
or
hard to
another.
judge any of that stuff with people
Yeah,
that have money and that are of that caliber of being known. I
that's
mean,
what I'm saying.
it's
I'm
almost like not even worth spreading anything. It's just like, yeah, who knows what happened?
exactly. That's why I'm saying I'm not speculating. That's just what the reports are indicating is that there was some sort of incident because of that, yeah, construction. But anyways, moving on. James Conner, on a positive note, off the IR. Your boy Mike. I know you miss him there in Pittsburgh.
Hey, dude, I do, but I don't.
Yeah.
I love his personality. I love him as a person. It's hard not to root for that guy. It is great that he's going to be back for fantasy football purposes. Dude was electric.
Yeah.
When he plays, he's a phenomenal player. He likes to get injured, but I mean, it's cool that it's the Cardinals are still going to suck, even though they have two great people coming back. But
I don't know if they're still going to suck. We'll get into that later when we talk about the
yeah.
games. But yeah, he's expected to play. I didn't see anything about a
Oh, I
snap
didn't know
count,
that.
but yeah, James Conner
Oh,
will play, is what I saw.
okay, let's go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Big news for your boy there. And the last piece of like big noteworthy news is Stefon Diggs is set to play, as well as Jamar Chase. He's not set to play, but he's questionable. So those are the last two pieces of like big notable names that we want to list off here, separate from
Yeah,
just discussing injuries within the games individually.
yeah,
So
yeah.
with that being said, did you see anything that I didn't cover there that you think is worth mentioning?
Nothing worth mentioning. We can dive, I guess, into some of these games of some injuries that matter, but um, nothing out there. No, yeah, don't got anything.
Honorable mention: AJ Brown, fastest player in Philadelphia Eagles history to hit 1,000 yards.
Dude's a stud.
Howie Roseman, just I mean, that trade, that what a league altering trade that has been
Yeah,
for the Eagles. I mean, just total dominance. But speaking of the Eagles, they are on bye. Let's get to teams that are not on bye, Mike. Let's get
yeah,
into the first game here of the weekend, or I should say Sunday. Colts at Patriots over in Germany.
yeah. We're all blessed with another morning game that I'm going to sit and relax, maybe drink my coffee to. It's going to be awesome. Um, it's probably not awesome for the players or the two teams playing. I guess I'm just gonna watch it because football's on. But uh, right now, so I recorded this. Yeah, Indy is still -2.5. This is gonna be a low-scoring slugfest, man. It's gonna be Stevenson. You're gonna have Jonathan Taylor and you're gonna have Zach Moss. There's gonna be a whole lot of running, low-scoring game. It's gonna be like a Thursday night football vibe, especially with it being overseas. Um, what was it? I got a couple stats here. Colts average 25.8 points per game, while the Patriots average 15 points per game. That is quite the discrepancy. The Patriots have been kind of, I guess, maybe playing a little bit better, but
A little bit.
I mean, Stevenson's been amping up a little bit on the offensive side of things, at least for fantasy football wise. But this game's going to be a stinker. I'm going to take the Colts winning this game still by 2.5 by a field goal. Uh, they have more potential to be great, in my opinion. But it's going to be football to watch on a Sunday morning. It's not going to be like this is awesome. But
Hot take. I think the game will be at least as good as last week's early morning game.
well, I mean, last week's early morning game, was kind of great, but then it kind of fizzled out with the Dolphins not being able to do anything. They just said, I mean, last week the Dolphins were like, let's run, run, run down the field. They move the ball down the field, then they go pass, 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 and then they fail.
Yep.
Like,
So are you
so
taking that line then on Indy?
yeah, yeah. I'm taking Indy minus 2.5.
Alrighty. Yeah,
What
I
about
mean, as
you?
far as that game goes, I think the Colts are just going to kind of run to high heaven all over New England. I think they kind of jump on them relatively early. I think Jonathan
Run the
Taylor has
ball.
his first game back over 100
Yeah.
yards. I think he might rip off a nice one here. Colts are going to get on top early, kind of control the game. I think Mac Jones is going to throw not one, but two interceptions, and he's going to get benched in this game. And I do think the Patriots rally late with a couple slop plays. It's supposed
From
to rain
junk.
over there. A couple sloppy plays and on deep, get some turnovers or something. They're going to rally late and make it close, but ultimately, I think the Colts are going to hang on. I
Yeah.
think the Colts are going to win, but I am not taking that line. Actually, I think it's going to be 2 points or less.
That's a bold take right there.
I honestly think it'll be a lower scoring game, but it should be relatively entertaining because
I mean,
the weather tends to make things interesting when it starts raining. We'll see, maybe a couple
we
fumbles. Who knows? I mean, I hope it's not for Jonathan Taylor's sake. I'm gonna knock on wood right now, and I say that, but
yeah.
who you never know. It's an overseas game. Like anything happens in these types of scenarios. So I mean, look at last week. Tyreek Hill uncharacteristically had the ball ripped away from him. Like I mean, the cheetah always shows up in big games. The cheetah was not there at all. He was error 404, cheetah not found. I got no audio on you, Mike. Sorry about that, bud.
Hear me?
Yep, now I can hear you.
I said Germany Thursday night football games are always weird unless you're the Jaguars. Like or I should say international games.
Yeah.
I guess
International games.
the biggest thing driving me to taking this line is the fact that there's over a 10-point discrepancy between points per game between the Colts and the Patriots. That's
Yeah.
quite a difference, man. The
I mean,
Patriots are
I
on
think you were right
on
when
the
you said that
bus.
New England is playing a little bit better. So I just think they'll
Yeah.
be able to move the ball a little bit to some degree. You know what I mean?
Well, we got to disagree on some things. It's the only way I'm going to catch up to you being down 2 picks this season. So I'll take that.
If you ain't first, you're last.
All right. Next game we have also, this is our first noon slate game we're going to be talking about. Titans at Buccaneers, Tampa Bay -1. Let me confirm that line. Oh, it's actually Tampa Bay -2.5 right now.
Wow, that must have changed. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I did this on, I think, Friday.
Yeah.
So I got some notes for this. I'm sick of betting the Buccaneers. I always have faith in the Buck. I think that I think that they're better than what they are. They may not be. I don't know. Is
I,
Baker Mayfield just notoriously a loser?
I don't
But
know, man. The Buccaneers to me, like I feel your pain. They are so frustrating because I picked them last week to beat Houston,
same.
and to quote
Yeah.
Dennis Green, it's like they had them, but they are who I thought they were, and they let them
Yeah.
off the hook. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, is CJ Stroud that good, or did Houston? I mean, or did Tampa Bay just kind of blow it? I mean, like, I think CJ's that good, so I'm with you here. I honestly think the Titans have a chance to win this game outright, especially with a banged up secondary for Tampa Bay. I think that
So
this is going to be a low scoring game. I don't think it's going to be uh, a Buccaneers win. That's for sure. I think it like a guaranteed win. I think if they do win, it's going to be 1 point or less. It's going to be real tight. I think I'm going to stay away from this line. I'm not going to
I'm
take that.
I'm taking that line. I'm taking
Really.
that. Yeah, the Bucks lost 37-39 last week. Like this is like I think that the Titans do benefit from the fact that this is the first game where Will Levis knows that he's being a starter and he has a full, well, he has actually he has a long week to prepare for this game. He didn't have any, this is his longest time ever to prepare for a game as a starting quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think the Buccaneers defense, which has got some pressure last week, they're going to get some pressure this week. And when he's under pressure, he's not, I mean, the Steelers did it to him. He doesn't. I mean, it's such a small sample size with the guy. It's hard to tell. But I think the Bucks are on a 4-game slide right now, and they're not going to lose another game. They're 3-5, and they're on a 4-game slide. they need to flip the mojo here. They have some offensive weapons. Mike Evans is a stud. Chris Godwin is a stud.
It's very true. They do have talent. I mean, you make some very good points. I could very easily be wrong. I just think Will Levis is still in that they don't have a lot of tape phase yet on him. And so I think he still might just have a couple
Yeah.
things that can surprise some people. And dude's got the arm to fit those
Yeah.
passes in some tight windows, man. Like,
Yeah, I'm with you on that I mean, I guess I do agree with that to an extent because I did pick up DeAndre Hopkins in our fantasy league and start him. So I think he's going to get some shots and he's going to get some balls going down.
all
But
right.
I think that the Bucks, once again, like I said at the beginning, I hate continuing to bet this stupid team.
Yeah, this is why I'm getting off of them right here.
Yeah.
All right, hold on one second. All righty, Mike. Now that we got that game out of the way, as painful as that is to talk about, let's move on to New Orleans at Minnesota, with New Orleans favored by 3 points is the number that I have here. I don't know if that line has changed. Okay.
Still good. Still good. Yeah. This game is a big question mark too, man. Like, what Derek Carr is going to show up, we don't know.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that when I analyzed this game. Oh, wow. I'm just going off a recency bias for the Saints, I suppose.
And what, like, with Dobbs, like, I mean, knowing this offense now for a little bit longer, like, is that a big deal? Is that not a big deal? I mean, what is a big deal is the Saints getting -3 at the Vikings. I mean,
that kind of confirms my thought, I believe.
I'm also taking this line.
Yeah, I'm going to take this line. I think that this is going to be the headline after that game. The Pastronaut hits turbulence. That's honestly, I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be a good game. Honestly, I really do. I just think that Saints offense is too versatile for that Minnesota defense. And I think that New Orleans defense is too sound to let the legs of Josh Dobbs beat them. They will, like, he's going to get a couple runs here and there, but he's not going to be backbreaking with his legs, I don't believe. And ultimately, I think the Saints pull away in this game later in the second half, and they kind of win it by about a touchdown.
I do think the Saints are going to win. I think that the Vikings defense deserves some credit the way they've been playing recently.
Totally, 100%, much better. But I think that Saints offense has been significantly better.
Yeah. I am with you. I think Derek Carr has a multi-touchdown game, and the Vikings 4-game win streak comes to an end here.
Yeah.
The Vikings have been getting a little bit lucky.
Yeah, I think they come back down to earth here. That's for sure.
They didn't last year. I mean, maybe it's not luck at this point.
They ain't got Kirko Chains out there, bro. That's not gonna happen. They don't have that luck. Like, I'm
we got to remember how many games Dobbs won, right?
Look, I'm fully convinced that football karma is real and it exists. Like, the football gods are a real thing, okay? And you get what you give in this world. And honestly, Kirko is such a good dude. He is such a good human being. I think that's why they were so good in the one-score games last year. They were like undefeated, like 11-0. It's like, I think that's why he's got that touch, man. The football gods bless that man because, like, he just tries to live his life to be like the best human being that he can be, not even just athlete. Like, he tries to be the best husband, the best father, etc. Like, he's just a really good dude. Yeah, man. Like, the same thing with like JJ Watt. That's why that dude's had like crazy injuries and like his career could have been so much, like, even more than what it was, but he still had an incredible Hall of Fame caliber career, even with all those injuries that, let's be honest, a lot of players, do you tear your pec, you're probably done for at least a year. That is potentially a career altering injury if you play that position, D lineman, and dude came back from it like way faster than anybody expected and then still dominated. Crazy, dude. Like, I firmly believe you get what you give, man.
Anybody that says that Aaron Rodgers is a bad person or a bad quarterback or bad whatever, if you hate on Aaron Rodgers, there's a reason he's recovering from this Achilles quick at the age of, what, 40? Almost?
Damn near 40. He'll be 40 in December.
Yeah. It's called good karma because he's a great person.
Football gods sprinkle a lot of fairy dust on that man. Kind of like, the Powder Puff Girls. Chemical X, man. Chemical X. That's what they hit A-Rod with. They
All
gave Dan
right.
Marino legs. Oh no, gotta only let this man get one Super Bowl ring until the very end of his career, and then have him rewrite the history books. But let's move on here to the next game.
All right. What
Texans
do we
at
got?
the
Yep.
Bengals.
Let me
Yeah,
confirm
what is
that
that current
line.
line?
6.5 still.
We are
Cincinnati minus 6.5.
just for the record, everybody. We are recording this Saturday evening. This is approximately 9 p.m. Central Time. So these are what the current lines are at this time.
Yeah. We made our original notes on Friday. So Cincy minus 6.5. T. Higgins being hurt, man.
That's huge.
That guy is.
Fire up Tyler Boyd, baby. Let's go. We
Yeah,
need
he's
him
going to be nice in fantasy.
because
Who
we don't know
knows
if
what
Jamar Chase is going to play either.
he is going to play.
He is. You saw he's expected to play.
He is expected to play.
Wow.
At what capacity, I do not know.
I
But
saw that he's going to be a game time decision. You might want to reconfirm this right now live while we are recording. And in the meantime, I can give the people my thoughts on this game because I think that this should have been the game of the week. Like why they have Giants and Cowboys in the America's Game of the week slot is just absolutely unfathomable to me. Nobody wants to watch that dumpster fire beatdown that's about to occur. I mean, this is about to be a shootout, in my opinion. This has Tom Brady v. Peyton Manning circa 2005 written all over it. I think this is going to be one of the great quarterback duels that we're going to see in our generation. You know, you already got Joe Burrow and Patty Mahomes. That's phenomenal. I think this is going to be another rivalry for years to come. CJ Stroud looks the part. He looks legit. I haven't seen enough of Will Levis to declare anything on him, but CJ Stroud, fuck it. I'm ready to say it. I think CJ Stroud's going to be one of the top quarterbacks in this league for years to come. I mean,
agreed.
the receiver does not make the quarterback. The quarterback makes the wide receiver, and he is making B-level dudes look like A-level dudes, and that's what you love to see from a young quarterback. So I think we're going to see
Yeah.
something special here with Joe Burrow and CJ Stroud, and hopefully it starts right now. And I think at least going forward in the future, we got massive rivalry going on there.
So the biggest things that I saw is he is questionable, but they're hopeful. And usually when they say questionable but hopeful, they're gonna play. I mean,
Yeah.
but I think like what I was saying, it's at what capacity are they gonna get him at? But do they? I mean, I'm all for the Bengals stumbling and bumbling because I don't want them to win. And I think that this line staying at 6.5 with a questionable Jamar Chase and then Higgins being out is pretty generous.
I would agree with that.
I don't, but at the same, like the Texans have been clawing and fighting this whole season. They've had obviously CJ Stroud's coming off a historic game. Like he's not going to match that. You can't ride that high. There's no way you're riding that high.
I'm not saying he's going to throw for like 400 yards. I'm just saying we're going to see a great duel
Yeah,
between these two.
yeah.
It's going to feel like the two quarterbacks are facing head to head like it did in the old days with the old studs, you know?
Hopefully, yeah, I'm with you with that hope that hopefully that game's like that. And I think it's going to be a competitive game. And I think if Chase being limited with his back injury, Higgins being out, like I think the Texans have a real chance to keep this game close or even win this game. Like the Bengals are buzzing, but now the Bengals just once again they hit another roadblock.
They hit a buzz saw after they were just buzzing.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, they're coming up. The Texans are ready for a shootout. I don't know if the Bengals are, if they are two stud receivers are not going to be in the mix.
And that's the thing. I totally agree with you that Houston can keep it close and really be in this game. However, I look at both of these teams and there's one glaring thing to me, and that is Houston cannot really run the ball, nor are they all that great at stopping it. And Cincinnati, they've been looking like they can run the ball, and that offense just looks like it's clicking at a different level. So I think the combination of that balanced offense will be able to keep Houston kind of off the field. Cincinnati will be able to win the time of possession battle and ultimately allow them to win the game. I'm not taking this line. I think Cincy wins, but not by 7 or more.
Yeah, so I'm in the same boat as you. I think Texans keep it close. I'm not taking that line either. Texans are going to keep it close. I wouldn't be surprised if the Texans won. Because I mean, granted, what are the Bengals on? Are they on a 4-game?
Honestly, I would be a little surprised if the Texans won. I can say that. I think they'll be like keeping it close. Like I think Cincinnati wins this game by like a handed possession, more than a field goal, but less than 7 points.
So they're on a 4-game win streak right now. The Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, before that, we got to remember what they did earlier in this season. They
When
were
Joe Burrow
bad.
was hurt
Yeah.
and it affected the entire offense from top to bottom.
So like them losing some studs, like that could affect things. I don't know. It's
I
we're
totally agree with you.
they're
I
they're
get what you're
buzzing.
saying.
Yeah, so we're on the same page. Like I think that the Bengals are going to win, but Texans are going to keep this game close.
Yeah, I also think that Joey B is like that. Like he's healthy now, and I think he's that special, and he's that type of dude to where like they can have the next man up mentality at wide receiver right now, and
Yeah.
it's not going to matter because like just like the old joke, Tom Brady used to get guys from Dorchester and 7-Eleven to throw the touchdowns to. It's like, dude, Joey B is that dude. You could throw anybody out there as long as they can run the route. Joey B gonna make it happen.
What was the dude that got the touchdown last week?
Irv Smith.
No,
Oh,
no. It
sneaky,
was
sneaky tight end play, in my opinion, though. Irv Smith Jr. Just a little sleeper shout out for fantasy people.
it was Drew Sample. That's who Joey Burrow threw a touchdown to. Anybody know who Drew Sample is?
I'd only heard the name
not
one
unless
other
you're
time.
a Bengals fan. So yeah, it's next man, like you're saying, next man up, man. It's going to be interesting. Hopefully it's a good game. If the Bengals were fully healthy going into this game with no question about their tight, we're taking that line. I mean, that line's not going to be 6.5. That line's going to be double digits, maybe.
I don't know, man. I think even if Jamar Chase is healthy, I would take that line, and that line doesn't move but a half a point. I mean,
that line is moving. That line is moving way more than a half a point if T. Higgins and Chase are healthy.
Oh yeah, both of them. Yes.
Oh,
yes,
I said
yes.
healthy. Yeah, my original
I'm
statement was
sorry.
healthy.
I thought you said just Jamar Chase. Yeah, I'm saying if it was just Jamar, I would still take the line, but I wouldn't think it'd be double digits.
They're double digits if the Bengals are rolling like they are right now.
Yeah.
And their whole team is healthy, even though the Texans are coming off of a crazy game at home with the Bengals need to win to keep up with the AFC North. But yeah.
If they had those two, I could easily see that being 8 to 10 point favorites, something like that for sure. Let's move on here to the next game. Another great game, another game of the week.
Yeah, 49ers
at Jacksonville.
Yeah. That game's going to be sick. Let me confirm that line. Right now we have it -3. Let me scroll down. Yep, still -3. San Fran favored by 3 points. What do you got?
Wow, what a game. What do I got? All I know is that I'm going to be having some popcorn or some snacks or something next to me to watch this game because it's going to be absolutely electric to watch this. I really think that this is going to be pretty high scoring. I could see 35-31 being final score or something like that. Yeah.
You and what army? The over-under is only 44.5 points.
Dude, I'm just saying that 49ers D has been leaky as of late. Zay Jones being back is going to be huge. ETN has been on an absolute tear. Calvin Ridley is going to have a nice bounce back because who at corner scares you for the 49ers?
Nobody.
Trevor Lawrence has been playing well, and you got Dougie P and this whole team coming off a bye with that defense that's number one in takeaways. I like it.
I'm with you on the fact that I've been rooting for the Jags for a while.
Hey, and then
we've had a couple discrepancies.
Yes, we have.
Like, I think the Jags are going to be hot, but the Jags ain't beating the 49ers this week.
I agree with that statement because I was just about to say it. On the other side of the ball, you got a pissed off 49ers team led by an already easily agitated Kyle Shanahan. And dude, he had to have been burning the midnight oil, putting that work out in the barn real late to dial up them plays. I mean, they're getting their master key back. They're getting Debo back. Dude. He is the thing that makes this whole offense click. You can talk about McCaffrey. You can talk about Kittle. I don't care. It's Debo.
It's like taking TJ Watt out of the Steelers lineup. Steelers don't win if TJ Watt ain't playing.
I see turnovers on both sides of the on both sides here from San Fran and from Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Like I said, I could see the sloppiness turning it into a shootout, 35-31, something like that, 31-28, something like that. But ultimately, I am going to take this line. I think 49ers are going to win by 4 points. I really like that 35-31 line, if you couldn't tell.
I don't think that it's going to be at all even close to that high scoring, but I do take the same line as you. I'm taking that -3. And it's funny that you mentioned that
Gotta be bold
that turnover
sometimes.
thing. So I have some notes from this game, obviously. I think the pass rush of the 49ers with Chase Young and Bosa, that is going to be freaking awesome to watch. I hope it's as awesome as I pictured in my head. And then another note that you had, Debo coming back, absolutely massive. Jags have won the last 5 games, and I I think that the 49ers are going to win this game. If Purdy does not protect this ball, they don't win this game. Purdy has made some dumb plays lately, and the only they need to be smart with the ball. Dump passes, sweeps, give McCaffrey the ball, be smart with it. That's how they win this game. That's their winning formula. Don't make Purdy have to come back in the game because he's going to throw picks. They need to keep the lead in this game, and the Jags are going to kind of keep pace, but the 49ers need to get the lead early, and if the 49ers are trying to claw back to win this, they're not going to win it.
Yeah. I mean, you look at what Mike McDaniel is doing down in Miami with Tyreek Hill. That's exactly what Debo is to this offense. He is their motion man. He is the guy that you just need to get the ball in his hands, and he can take it the distance with his yak ability. He's not as fast as Tyreek, but what like Tyreek has with his elite speed, dude, Debo is extremely special and elite after the catch with the ball in his hands. I mean, he's crazy. So
I wish
yeah,
he wasn't as buttery soft as he is with his injury stuff, but man,
it's
he is underrated. I think he is
yes.
underrated. Like
I
so
love me some Debo, man. I really do. I
same.
was disappointed when the Packers didn't draft him when they had the opportunity to,
Well,
but
the Packers fuck up a lot of drafts, so
yeah. Yeah, most definitely. All righty. Coming back from a break here. Let's jump
what up?
into Browns at Ravens, Mike. What do we got for the line here?
We have Ravens -6.5 at home. Uh I got some notes from this. Obviously being an AFC North passion of mine.
Huge AFC North game.
Deshaun Watson needs to show up if anything's going to happen in this game.
Yep.
I don't think he will
Yep.
because he stinks.
Yep.
The Ravens have a ton of weapons, man. The Ravens defense has not really faced a tough team like this yet that has this many offensive weapons. Or sorry, Browns defense has not faced a tough team like the Ravens offense. I think the Browns defense is good. I don't think that they are as good as everybody's hyped about. They're solid, but the Ravens are coming with a lot of heat here. There needs to be some turnovers here or something for the Browns to actually win this game. But at the end of the day, it is almost impossible to predict AFC North football, man. Especially
Yeah.
this time of the year in November. Like, dude, you can't predict these games, man. You could almost have a game where the Browns win like 27-10, like 30-10 or something. Anything can happen in these games. It's unpredictable football, but Baltimore being -6.5, I'm not going to take that line. I think that AFC teams typically have Lamar's name. I think it's going to be close. I do think the Ravens win, but it's going to be a closer game than a -6.5. I don't like that spread. It's AFC North. This game is going to be close. It's going to come down to some Justin Tucker field goal or something weird. I mean, even the Ravens have been decent. I mean, I'm not on the whole hype train of the Ravens, you know that, but the Ravens have stalled out a lot in the offensive side of things as far as getting touchdowns, and Justin Tucker's been lighting it up like he always has. They've been
Yeah.
relying on him to kick a lot of field goals because they can't finish, and I think that happens again this week. And I think Tucker wins them a game here. It maybe by 6, maybe by 3, but I think the Ravens are not going to win by a touchdown.
Man, I think you got the wrong Ohio team in the AFC North game script there. If this was Cincinnati, I would say you're 1,000% spot on. I in terms of how close it's going to be.
Well, since he doesn't have that defense, though, since he does not have the Browns D.
I agree. I agree. The Browns have a better defense, but dude, you go look at it. Lamar owns the Browns. Absolutely dominates the Browns. I personally think that this is going to be another dominant showing by the Ravens. I think they're going to continue their dominance on the AFC North. That is, they just tighten their grip on it. And
They
yeah,
don't dominate the AFC North. There's one team that dominates the AFC North. The Pittsburgh Steelers. The only team in the AFC North to be undefeated in the AFC North is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who beat the Ravens.
Is that real?
Yes, the Steelers beat the Ravens.
Why does it not feel like that?
Steelers are 2-0 in the AFC North.
What are they beat? Who did they beat? The Ravens and who else? Did they play Cincy yet? I don't think
so. They beat the Ravens and the Browns.
Oh, that's right. They played Cleveland already.
Yeah.
Okay. So Lamar went and let's see here. Lamar played Cincy, right? Already.
I am not 100% sure. I can let you know here in a second.
I'm pretty sure they did. And I thought Lamar had a great game against
them. It was 27-24, and that was Joey Burrow not being Joey Burrow.
Correct. Yeah, Lamar had a really good game against them. And like
arguably Joey Burrow had an almost equal game besides one interception. Lamar was 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. Burrow was 222 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick.
What did Lamar do on the ground?
Rushing, Lamar Jackson, 54 yards rushing.
And I think he had a score in that too?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. But nonetheless, it took a good Lamar performance and a poor Joe Burrow performance for the Ravens to win that game by 3. I just and then they lost to Pittsburgh on a fluky game. I honestly think that the Ravens are actually the team to beat in the AFC North, and Cincinnati's coming for it. Pittsburgh just holds it by technicality. I mean, right now.
I'm not denying any of that.
Yeah, I think so. When I say to dominate the AFC North, I guess that's not entirely true because they don't have the record. But I think they are honestly the best team in the AFC North as of right now. I think the Bengals are coming for it, but they're a little too injured for me to say that. I do think just Sean Watson does not show up again, and I think there's going to be massive fires going around in Cleveland, within the building and whatnot. Just a lot of drama and tension behind that contract and that person, that quarterback.
I hope that happens because that was the dumbest, in my opinion,
one of the
dumb contract.
Yeah, I think Lamar's going to have an MVP type performance here against Cleveland, and I think the Browns dominate him.
Dude,
the Ravens dominate them.
My biggest argument, they played the Seahawks and won 37-3. The Seahawks are not good. That I don't even count that as the Ravens being good winning that game. Even the 38-6 win over the Lions, I don't even account that to the Ravens being that good.
Yeah, your 2 biggest points against the Ravens are their 2 biggest wins of the season. That's blowout wins, by the way. That's
blowout wins by teams that do not even show up.
Oh, so the Lions didn't show up against Kansas City?
The Lions did not show up against
Lions
the
didn't
Ravens.
show up against Green Bay?
It was 31-20. Then it was 31-24 against the Cardinals in between those 2 games. What are you talking about?
And you act like the Cardinals are that bad, dude. They're a scrappy team. Watch the Cardinals beat Atlanta.
I'm emphasizing the point that they did not show up against 2 teams that are better than the Cardinals. And then they played the Titans before that and won 24-16, another 1-score game. The 2 teams that are worse than the 2 teams that they blew out, it was 1-score games.
Life is all about perspective, man. And this is why I love talking to football with you, because we have 2 different perspectives.
The Ravens are going to Raven, dude.
You can stick with they beat this team and that team is better than this team. So that means that the Ravens aren't that good. You can stick with that logic. I'll stick with my POV of your 2 biggest arguments against them.
When's Lamar had a crazy big game? 2 of the biggest wins that they've had. What are the stat lines on that?
Lamar has had many great games this season. It might not necessarily be 400 yards passing or some crazy numbers. But his efficiency has been insane.
He did have that against the Lions.
Yeah, he did have that one great statistical
against
game.
37-3 against the Seahawks, Lamar threw for 187, 0 touchdowns.
And what about what did he do on the ground? That's the thing with Lamar is you can't just list the passing stats with Lamar. He is a dual threat guy.
He's 10 for 60. No touchdowns.
So what's his total scrimmage yards?
But I just said 10 for 60.
Yeah, but that combined with you said he had 180 something through the air.
Yeah, but still
So he's at
No
like 200,
touchdowns. No
roughly around
touchdowns.
250, and he
No,
didn't have a
no,
touchdown.
no touchdowns. That game was a fluke of run games, great field position,
Yes.
and the Seahawks being absolute dog water.
I agree, but he did nothing. He didn't make a mistake that game. Sure, he didn't score, but he did
But he
nothing.
didn't give up the ball. Yeah, no,
What was his
there's
passer rating in that game? I'm curious. Do you still have the stat lines up?
let me it's probably high because he was 21 for 26. 96.6.
It's pretty
And then
solid.
and then Huntley came in and played for a little bit of that game and was 123.
Oh yeah, so yeah, Lamar didn't even finish the game. I guess I just look at it like when the Ravens are actually not shooting themselves in the foot, they are absolutely dominating everybody. And if they could just avoid
Yeah.
shooting themselves in the foot, that's the only thing they got to look
Yeah,
out for. But
you're
I'm
right.
glad that we get into this heated debate about the Ravens so much. I love it. This is like probably our biggest difference on the season.
Well, and usually I'm right because the Ravens don't do anything ever.
You are not wrong, but I think this year is different. I really do. I think the Ravens look for real this year.
Ravens are not even going to see the championship game.
So the AFC title game. Wow. Okay.
They're
not even going to sniff it. You're saying, or
they're
not going to be in it.
The end of the season, they could probably sniff it.
Yeah, I think they'll sniff it for sure.
The end of the season is going to be tough for them. That's
they got a gauntlet.
Do I think that the Ravens have the potential to be better than what they are, even with what they're doing? I think that the Ravens have potential to be what you think they are. I do think that they have that. I don't think that they're there yet. I think that they've won against some little BS games against teams that don't show up. 100%. Same with the Steelers, 2 years ago when they won 11 games in a row? They played a whole bunch of teams that didn't show up. That happens all the time.
It's funny. I seem to value the Ravens like up here, and you seem to value the Ravens like down here. And in reality, they're probably like somewhere in here.
Yeah, they're somewhere in the middle. And I think the last 4 games of the season are really going to show what the Ravens are. They play the Jaguars, 49ers, Dolphins, and Steelers.
Yeah, it's going to be great games to watch there. Oh,
those 4 games are going to be like, okay, are you real or are you not real?
Correct.
And their next 3 is the Brown. I mean, even actually, they play the Bengals in 2 weeks. That's
going to be huge on Thursday Night Football this week.
I hate that game's on Thursday Night Football. Having an AFC North rivalry game on Thursday sucks, man. That just sucks.
Well, it just sucks for me because I can't watch the game. I can only listen to it.
But sucks you can't. But then it's always the team. You don't have the regular mojo of Sunday football, and with the importance of those games,
I get it. That's a Sunday Night Football feel right there. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Instead, why don't we just watch a Sunday Night Football game where we have to watch the Jets and the Raiders? All right, let's move on.
Yeah.
Wait, no, you said
that game's actually got decent hype compared to the game we're about to talk about here, Green Bay at Pittsburgh.
Timeout. Were you taking Baltimore -6? You were not. You said no, I think.
No, I'm taking that. I think they're going to.
You are.
I think they're going to win by 10 points or more.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So let's move on to Packers at Steelers.
Green Bay at Pittsburgh here. What is the current line on that? Because I know the line that was listed is Pittsburgh -3.5. I'm not sure. Okay, so it stayed the same. Yeah. That's perfect.
So I had a couple funny things happen today. Super Wisconsin vibes here. I went to Menards this morning to get shingles and some nails for my roof. And then I went to Quick Trip and got some coffee. That's about as Wisconsin as it gets on a Saturday morning, besides getting a Bloody Mary. But I talked to this guy. We were in the checkout line, and he was wearing a Steelers shirt and a Steelers hat. And I was like, we're going to kick their ass this weekend. And he was like, just so you know, the Packers haven't won in Pittsburgh since Bart Starr. And I was like, dude, I'm a Steelers fan. He's like, oh, I didn't know. So I'm like, this guy's been berated all week probably by people he knows being a Steelers.
On what grounds does he have to be berated? I mean, I would like to apologize to that random man at the checkout line at Menards that Packers fans have no grounds to talk shit at all right now. I'll say that.
So I thought that stat was pretty funny, and then I looked it up while we were talking earlier and confirmed it. It has been since 1970 since the Packers have beat the Steelers in Pittsburgh.
That's pretty mind-blowing, man.
it's mind blowing. At the same time, you kind of get it because they don't play each other a lot. But yeah. So my notes for this game, definitely not as exciting as the last one, but also more exciting because we care about it way
Yeah,
more.
on a personal level, it's a little more exciting.
Yeah. On a personal level, nobody should watch this game till the second half because none of it matters.
Oh my, that is so painfully accurate.
Yeah. Both of our offenses suck. Um, I think that the Steelers have a potential to have their first 400-yard game against this Packers offense, to be fair. Who's going to cover Pickens and Deontay?
That is so funny. One of my note points here are both teams equally suck.
Yeah. The Steelers suck less than the Packers, that's for sure.
Correct. Yeah, I don't know who's going to cover Deontay and Pickens. I mean, there's going to be no Jair,
Yeah.
RIP. That's probably my favorite player on the team right now, honestly.
Yeah,
There's going to be
that
no
sucks
Quay
ass.
Walker, and I think that's a really underrated loss. Quay Walker has been playing out of his mind for the second
Yeah.
year player, and he should have like 3 or 4 interceptions on the season, but he's dropped a few. So I think he's only got like 1 or 2, but he's been playing really well.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be the fire bowl. I think the loser of this game gets somebody fired from that team. Like, and it might not be immediately, but at least at the end of the season, it's going to be one of these major key points that they can point to and say, this was pathetic.
I don't know
And
if you know about the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they don't fire anybody
no,
in the
I'm
middle of
saying
the
if
season.
Pittsburgh comes out and their offense looks absolutely completely inept against this banged up Packers defense, like this is a
Doesn't
get right
matter.
opportunity. If they can move the ball with at least at all, just be somewhat productive, there's no
Yeah.
problems. But if like they lose and that offense looks atrocious, Matt Canada will be fired at the end of the year, and this will be a big reason why. And vice versa. I think Joe Barry is already kind of on the chopping block, but if our defense lets that offense walk all over us, I mean, I would not be necessarily shocked, but I would be surprised if it happened that like I could see the Packers being uncharacteristic and firing Joe Barry mid-season because it's that poor. Like he's been that bad for that long. I mean,
The only
if not now, at least at the end of the season, he will definitely be gone, and this will be a major game that they point to as a
I
key
think the
point.
only reason they don't fire him middle of the season is because this is Love's first full season. They don't want to fire somebody like that.
Probably right there. Yeah, they don't
The
want
same
to
with the
add
Steel.
chaos and controversy.
Even if the Steelers blow out the Packers, I still think Matt Canada gets canned because his contract's up. There's no reason to keep him.
Yeah.
There's no reason to keep him. I think Rashawn Gary has a decent game against the O line of the Steelers. Like
Not a bad
I
prediction there.
think that he's gonna get some pressure on Kenny Pickett. I hope that Jordan Love gets his shit kicked in by TJ Watt though, man. I think I need
It's gonna happen.
I think if TJ Watt gets 1 sack, he beats his brother's record for like most sacks in the first 100 games or some level of that. But I think this is also the first game this year that the Steelers win the game and they don't get outgained on the offensive side of things. They outgain the Packers for the first time this year. By what margin? I don't know. But I think that, and I hate to be this optimistic because I mean, it's been like 2+ years of this terrible offense that gets outgained and gets somehow has your heart racing to the end of the game and only watching the second half, man. I'm amped. I'm amped for it. I hope that they can win it, but I'm somehow the Packers are going to keep this game somewhat interesting, even though they shouldn't because they suck.
So you're not taking this line?
I am taking the line because
Oh,
I'm an
okay,
idiot.
good. Yeah, you should not be cautiously optimistic. You should just straight up be optimistic because I
Yeah,
think this is a get right game for the Steelers. I think it's tight all the way until the second half, and then the Steelers kind of get their shit together late and they're able to boom, 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 go down the field on us a couple times. And next thing you know, the Packers are sitting there trying to throw the ball, and TJ Watt going to do what TJ Watt does and pin his ears
yeah.
back and get to the passer. I
I
like
think
Pittsburgh to win here by 7+ points.
I think
I'm smashing that line.
I think Pittsburgh's going to pin their ears back the whole game. They're going to put pressure on him the whole game. They don't give a shit. Pressure, pressure, pressure. And I hope that the offense.
I
I
think that's
really
gonna be
want
a
to.
mistake, honestly.
I really Well, Jordan Love can't throw a deep ball.
Doesn't matter if that's the case. I know your defense can be had through the middle with a run game. If I'm Matt LaFleur, all I'm gonna do is just start sending the running backs to slow
Not
down your pass
recently.
rush.
Not recently though. Not
Well,
the past. Not the past couple games.
if the Packers can establish a run game and if they can keep that pass rush at bay by dink and dunk to the running backs and screen plays and whatnot, just basically try to frustrate that pass rush. That's the only way they have a shot in hell to win this game. And I just don't think they're going to be able to do it
They're not going to
consistently
be able to do
because, yeah,
that.
I don't
No.
trust Matt LaFleur as a play caller. So
Even if they wanted to commit to the run game, they don't have a good enough run game to commit to win it.
I think they do now that Aaron Jones is back and healthy and is like
Yeah.
actually legitimately healthy. He's the master key to our offense here. I mean, you talk about Debo with San Fran, dude. Without Aaron Jones, this offense is. I mean, it's inept as is, but without Aaron Jones, it's like it's not even rankable. It's like
He's the
put it on the.
master.
It's ranked top 50 in the league out of 32 teams.
He's the master key to a house in a trailer park. I mean,
Pretty
like,
much. That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, Aaron Jones is the master key to a
this,
house in the projects.
I think the Steelers and the Packers have the same keys to win because like last week the Steelers offense committed huge to the run game as well. And I think they were like 160 plus yards combined in the run game between Najee Harris and Jalen Warren.
Yeah.
And if they have that going, the Packers are fucked.
And that's what I'm saying. I just kind of foresee that happening, dude. The Steelers kind of got that run game going last week. Deontay was looking good. George Pickens wasn't out there crying like a baby. So
He was.
Oh, not to the extent that he was the week before.
No, that was the week. No, the last time you saw him out there, that was the week he was crying.
Oh, that's right. It was a Monday night game, wasn't it?
No, it was Thursday night. So they've had a long week to prepare as well.
That's why it feels like it's been 2 weeks since the last time I've seen him.
So I think,
well, yeah, I'm interested to see if he does cry like a baby out there tonight. But Deontay was looking right. At least that offense just looked pretty fluid towards the end of that game. That's all I'll say.
I just really pray for like 2 first half touchdowns from the Steelers.
Good luck.
If I saw that, dude, I'd cry. I may cry.
I think we'll get 2 first half touchdowns total between both teams, but
yeah,
let's move on from that stinker of a game to a slightly less or more exciting stinker of a game, I should say, slightly less stinky but a little more exciting. Atlanta at the Cardinals. I think this is going to be a sneaky good game.
Yeah, so this is our first 3:00 slate here. Atlanta is favored by -2.
Yeah, and why that is, I'm not really sure. Honestly, I think the Cardinals have done nothing but show you all year why you should not sleep on them. And Kyler Murray's coming back. Sure, he's going to be a little rusty. I don't think he's going to be out there running around, but I think that arm and his mind is going to be as sharp as ever. I think he'll be looking great as a passer. I think he's going to be, having some miscues here and there early in the game, but once he shakes the nerves and the rust, I look for Kyler to pretty much look like Kyler, at least from the pocket. Maybe not have the same escapability, but you got 2 effort teams going at it here, and Arizona will out effort you every time if I had to put my money on it. They are scrappy. Jonathan Gannon has those dudes playing hard. Kyler Murray just coming back in general, along with James Conner, that's going to be such an energy jolt to the whole team that I just think they're going to win this game. Atlanta's been stumbling. Here's where they finally fall on their face, and the writing is going to be written on the walls for Arthur Smith for the offseason that your days are numbered, bud.
So James Conner is still questionable.
Okay. Well, I saw a report that he will play, and that was via an NFL reporter. So
yeah, so it says he is expected to play, but he is questionable.
Yeah, that's so. I mean, Julio Jones spent half his career playing like that, so I'm not going to take this line, and I think the Cardinals win this game.
Yeah, I'm taking that line. I think there's a reason Atlanta's favored, which you do know why, is because it's a big question mark of Kyler coming back after an ACL injury. I mean, that is why the line is what it is. Is it wrong? Potentially, but that's why they're betting on that, because you got a guy coming back who hasn't played with the team. It's totally different when you come back.
See, I think the line is the way it is, not necessarily for the Kyler reason. That might factor into it a bit, but I think
it's an away game and they're favored.
I think it's simply because that Arizona defense can be ran on, and what team runs the ball very well in the league better than the Falcons? I'd say very few. So,
speaking of the run game, should I say it for like the 10th week in a row, maybe? Use Bijan.
Free Bijan. Give that man the ball.
Arthur Smith is an idiot. I
I
can't
think he
stand that
should.
guy.
I think he should be done as a head coach after this season, regardless if they make the
Everybody
playoffs or what. I just don't think he's
everybody's
the
all
answer.
amped on him of being, oh, he's transparent, he talks this and that. He's a big Algier guy. This use your draft pick. Throw him in there. You have a I mean, they're 4-5 now. They're trending downwards, but like I don't get it. It's the same. We've talked about this verbatim every week.
Yeah,
It
Drake
doesn't really
London with a
matter.
groin injury too. I don't like that for that Atlanta offense.
The last 5 games, the Falcons have had 1-score games. I'm gonna take this line because I think that Kyler's gonna have some growing pains coming into this game, but I do think it's gonna be a close game, and I wouldn't be like I'm gonna take it, but I wouldn't be surprised if you were correct and Kyler comes out and balls out.
I mean, all the reports have
Because
been he's just killing it. So
and he's smart. The dude's
he is a really
smart.
smart guy. He's a
Yeah,
smart
the
player.
dude's and I hope I'm not even gonna be mad if I see him ball out and I lose this because of that. Because
You like to see the dude come back from a nasty injury.
yeah, dude,
Exactly. I mean, look at
and
Deshaun, dude. Like he didn't even
Mighty
get
Mouse.
injured. He's been gone for 2 years just due to off the field issues, and it's like he ain't the same player. Like you
Well,
like to
yeah,
see
but
guys get back to who they are, especially
football
after
karma.
injury.
I don't care if Deshaun
Football
Watson
karma,
ever comes
yeah,
back.
okay, that's probably a bad example, but
He's
yeah,
a terrible person. Kyler Murray seems like a nice person.
whatever. Damar Hamlin being able to suit back up and get back on the field is pretty fucking significant. I like to see the same thing for Kyler Murray. You know, an ACL tear, that's a pretty significant injury
Yeah,
still to this
huge.
day. So, especially for a guy who needs his legs.
Yeah,
So let's
yeah.
move on though from that game to a sneaky good game here. I think we got in Washington at Seattle. What is the
I'm
line on
not.
that one?
It's Seattle -6. I'm not playing this Seattle BS anymore. I can't stand Geno Smith. I think that I wouldn't even be surprised if Geno Smith got benched this year.
Yeah, this is a put up or shut up game for Geno Smith, in my opinion.
I don't think he puts up. I think Howell outplays him this game and they ball out. Like I, I have no faith in Geno Smith. He just looks inept. I don't think he can run that offense, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're gonna win this game, he has 2 phenomenal weapons at his disposal: DK
He's got
Metcalf and
three.
Tyler Lockett and Kenneth Walker Jr. And
No,
then what's
JSN.
Charbonnet and
I'm
Jay.
talking about
He has a lot of.
JSN, dude.
Well, he has a lot.
JSN, they have not touched this man's potential yet. Like,
I think Seattle just signed the Rams quarterback that got let go.
yeah, Brett Rippin. Yeah. I swear
Brett
that's just a
Rippin farts.
strategic. Yeah, that's just a shout out to the fantasy
Fantasy
footballers.
footballers. Yeah.
Yeah, Brett. I swear that's just a strategic move from Pete Carroll, just so he can learn the ins and outs of the Rams because they play them next week.
Yeah. So I did. So my initial notes, I did take the Seahawks winning this game, but the
Wow.
more I think about it, I didn't take the line, but I took them winning this. But the more I think about it, I think that the Commanders win this game.
Yeah,
I think that
like
they go in. It's going to be tough because Seattle, notorious, good home field advantage, a loud stadium, but Howell's going to ball out.
yeah, I agree. If I wanted someone to take the line, I would say smash that line. I'm trying to figure out what the verbal equivalent is for stay the hell away from this line. Absolutely no, go nowhere near it. I think Sam Howell balls out. Hot take. I think Sam Howell's the better quarterback in that game this week. And
I'm with you.
this is going to be a real litmus test for him. That's a good defense up in a very hostile environment. You got weapons to do it, kid. Your offensive line might not be that great, but your defense sure ain't quitting on you, even though they traded 2 of their best players. I mean, they held stout against New England. Granted, that offense is inept in terms of talent, but this offense in Seattle looks just as inept in terms of production. I
Yeah.
mean, this is a real opportunity for Washington to try to gain some ground here in the
Yeah.
playoff hunt because they're kind of still in the mix. They are not like eliminated by any means. So
Yeah.
I like Washington to win this game outright. Actually, I think they're going to win it on a field goal or less, sneak it out game on the road.
It's probably dumb of us to think that the Commanders are going to win in Seattle.
I don't think it's
But
dumb. I think it's probably the odds are against us, but I don't think it's dumb.
yeah.
I think
Is
that
it
the
dumb to
odds
bet?
makers are just
Is
looking.
it dumb to bet against the odds that are against you?
I think if Seattle didn't have such a hostile environment to play in, this game would, if it was just your average NFL home game, I think this would only be a -3 line.
Yeah, I just don't. You just look at Geno Smith, and it's just like it feels like he has the attitude of a backup quarterback. Like he doesn't have that fire that he had last year, where you look at him, you're like, this dude's gonna ball out today.
Yeah, I mean it's what he's been his whole life, so it's kind of hard for a leopard to change its spots.
Yeah, he regressed back to his mean.
Yeah, let's move on to the next game. Speaking of regressing back to quality of mean of regressing to the mean here, we're going to regress in quality of game with the Giants at the
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah, oh my gosh, this is going to be such a horrendous game. Why this
Yeah,
is in the America's Game of the Week window is strictly for the fact it's the damn Cowboys. And I don't know about you, but as an NFL fan, I am sick and tired, completely sick and tired of watching these ridiculously bad matchups. Like it's
yeah.
inexcusable.
Well,
The
it
amount of
wasn't.
money people are paying to watch every NFL game however they want is like this is outrageous. You're going to put the Giants, who are completely inept with a third string quarterback, and they're
What
inept all over the place against
timeout,
Dallas.
timeout,
Oh,
timeout.
this is
When
horrendous.
do they pick? When do they pick those games though? Is this before the season? Because
I don't care. You have
previous,
the option to flex.
no,
Use
no,
it.
no, no, no. Like the Giants were supposed to be tenfold of what they are this year.
This game could have been flexed 4 weeks ago. We all knew what the Giants were four
Yeah,
weeks
but
ago.
Jones was going to become. Jones came back. The team, you got Jones, you got Barkley.
Need I
Like
remind you, the first time they played Sunday Night Football was 40-0 Dallas.
I, I get it, dude. And
I
I'm
just like it's so annoying.
so Dallas minus 17.5. I'm taking that line. Um,
Like I'm not even mad when they put the Jets on prime time because at least that defense is fun to watch. Giants have nothing
so
fun to watch.
so the Cowboys show up when they're supposed to win big games.
They do.
Last one was
Well,
43-20 against the Rams, 38-3 against the Patriots.
yeah.
And the Giants are another bad team on that same caliber, and they're going to win by over 17.5. I mean, I could even see Dak, Pollard, CeeDee Lamb not even playing the second half of this game potentially just
Yeah,
because they're
agreed.
kicking the shit out of them.
I completely
Um,
agree.
so you're taking that line?
Oh yeah, Dallas is going to dominate. That's all I have to say. It's a
Yeah.
hate crime that this game is in the America's
It,
Game of the
it,
Week window.
it gives Dallas false hope that they're good at football.
Yeah,
All right, next we have Lions at Chargers. Detroit -3.
a phenomenal game here. Oh,
Yeah, agreed.
thankfully this is also in the late window, so this should hopefully save some skin for the NFL.
Yeah. Um, I have some like a little bit of faith that the Chargers kind of get a little bit of momentum here going. Which it's the same dumb faith that I have in the Buccaneers potentially. But I don't think that they have enough with Montgomery coming back and Gibbs rolling right now. Like David Montgomery and Gibbs rolling and with Goff, man, like the team's healthy coming off the bye. I think the only way that the Chargers keep this game close is off a fluky turnover. Maybe Goff makes a dumb play, which he's been known to do. But Detroit, I'm going to take this line. Detroit's going to win this game, and they're going to come off the bye, showing people why they're going to be the NFC North champions.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is essentially going to be a home game for the Lions. Their fans are traveling exceptionally well this year, and nobody shows up to Chargers home games as is.
Yeah.
So not only that, but it's basically in a dome once again. Jared Goff in a dome. Don't bet against that man. Do not bet against that man in a dome. I honestly think that the Lions are going to dominate. This might be this might be the second biggest blowout of the weekend. Hot take, short of Dallas and the Giants. I think the Lions are going to run roughshod all over the Chargers defense, finally exposing Brandon Staley for good. And hopefully, as a parting gift with this massive L that the Lions are going to deliver to the Chargers, they will start saving Justin Herbert's career by getting Brandon Staley the hell out of the Chargers organization. I think he's going to get exposed for good. I
Just
am smashing this line.
I
Lions to
just
win by multiple possessions.
I just love the emphasis of little things that we hate. Little like
Oh my goodness.
The
It's
little
criminal. How can you have that?
micro passions in picks
I
and
mean,
micro.
Brandon Staley at least like coached a decent defense when he was with the Rams and everything. Like there was some sort of pedigree there. Like, okay, so there's actually real expectation. And like before I relate this back to the Packers with Joe Barry, but it's kind of like, how can you have that much talent on defense and just like not not be a shutdown defense? I just don't get it. They have so much star power on that side of the ball, and they're just such a mediocre defense. Like some
But I,
games they look good, some games they look terrible,
but
and
I
they have no
mean,
consistency.
what percentage of first round picks actually turn out in the NFL?
I don't know. I don't know how many of those guys on that side of the ball are first round picks. I'm just talking about the
Well, the
talent alone.
Packers.
I'm
You're
yeah,
talking
first
about
round pick. I'm saying
the
it's similar
Packers have
because they have a lot
allocated
of talent.
the Packers have allocated a lot of high round picks to defensive players in the past years.
Right. And
You
the
really
Chargers have
blame
allocated a
you
lot
re-
of free agent money to defensive players in the
do you
last
really
couple of years.
blame the defensive coordinator, or did these top picks just not pan out? Because what percentage of top picks actually pan out? It's
I really think it's the DC man. I really do
yeah.
because Joe Barry, like there's been a couple games over his tenure where it's like he'll play the aggressive style or just the well, not necessarily aggressive, but the certain style that the defense kind of needs to play, and then the defense looks lights out for like a game or two here and there, and then all of a sudden it's back to like baby shit soft zone for whatever reason, and we'll give you the first down on third down, but nothing more. It's like I don't get it. Like you still I
Yeah.
don't care if these guys are questionable because they're draft picks. Like I understand not everybody's a hit in the NFL, but at the end of the day, you do have some dudes that are guaranteed studs, and it's like I think Kenny Clark is a beast. I think that Devontae Wyatt is a beast. Jair is an absolute top three, top two corner in the game, in my opinion. Like there's plenty of playmakers on that defense that are developed enough to where you know they have hit. When you have
I'm
that level of talent on the ball, that side of the ball,
yeah.
how do you not perform? And at that point, it's got to be coaching.
I mean, just everything you're saying makes me feel so blessed that I did not have to see TJ Watt in a Packers uniform.
You know what? Same here because we probably would have wasted that man's career.
Yeah. All
But
right.
let's move on.
Let's move on. We're both taking the Lions to beat up on the Chargers.
Yeah, smashing that line.
I think it's going to be somewhat closer than what you think, in my opinion, but I still think that the Lions win that game.
Yeah.
Last game we have to close out this beautiful evening. Jets at Raiders, Las Vegas -1. Timeout. Let me confirm that.
Yeah, I don't think this
Yep,
game.
still Jets Jets -1 now.
Oh,
My
Jets are
bad.
-1 now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Okay, yeah, I don't think this game is going to be like as poor a quality as you may have depicted earlier. I actually think this game has some hype around it. You know, a lot of drama behind the scenes on these two teams. I think the Jets need some LIFE, and this is a desperation mode win for them. I think the Wilson to Wilson connection is going to get hot. Marcus Peters is questionable, the only DB of note for the Raiders defense. So as long as they can kind of contain Max Crosby to a degree, that's kind of the entire key to the Raiders defense. So if you can
For
just
sure, for
if
sure.
you can just slow him down enough, get Garrett Wilson in some good schemes, quick passes, quick slants. You've already seen him take 170 plus yards to the house against Dallas. He is that dude.
Yeah.
I think if you get him the ball and let him have a big day, the Jets should win this game. I am going to take this line if it's Jets -1 because I think the Jets are going to win by a field goal or less. It'll be a sneaky game like that at the end.
Yeah, to kind of close out our podcast here. Running a little short on time. I think the Raiders win this game.
Right on. I love the rivalry here.
Yeah, it's a home game, and you're giving the Jets, who are absolutely awful on offense, they're favored to win this. Man, I think this is going to be a low scoring defensive game, and it's the Jets defense will be the only defense showing up in this game.
Probably.
The Jets offense can't score, so that just inherently makes the Raiders defense look good. But
yeah,
this game is going to be a stinker, but I think
ooh, I don't know about that. I think there's going to be so much drama that it's going to
no,
feel bigger than what it is.
that's what I was going to say. It's going to be a stinker, but like it's going to be a low scoring. Like you're going to be engaged into this game.
Yeah, I agree.
So, I guess let's close this out for the pod here.
Yeah, well, we got a extra long show for you here today. We're gonna have another show coming out for you guys tomorrow, right after the games, as
Yep.
always. Once again, sorry for the delay. We apologize, but hey, life happens. What are you gonna do? So we appreciate everybody's
Yeah.
support, everybody who continues to listen, and all the new listeners. Shout out to any new subscribers out there. I know we got one more this week in the last few days. So
Woo.
smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss an episode. And we will catch you guys on the next episode. See you, everybody.
Peace.